Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Match Day Show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good morning and welcome to Rangers Radio in this final game of the 2025-26 season, domestic season. Join myself, Oxshire, on the show this morning is young Robert. Morning, mate.
Morning, Ox. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Bring the curtain down in this most bizarre season ever, I would think, mate. Most bizarre season ever. Roller coaster. Really on the low, right up that big hill, and then we come down with a bang, mate. And hopefully, for everybody concerned, we can just go out, play some decent football, get a result today, and shut the curtain behind us, mate.
Well, here's hoping, mate. Here's hoping. You've hit the nail on the head when you said it's been a mental season. It's been a roller coaster. And although it's the last game of the season, I've got a funny feeling it doesn't end today. I think there's still a lot of things that can happen. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumours and things like that flying about. So the focus is obviously on the game itself today, mate. There's still a game of football to be played, and then anything that happens can take care of itself later on. But they've got to go and get a win today, stop that run of losses. And you don't want to be coming back after the summer break with a defeat in the last game as well. So let's go to try and rectify that somehow.
Aye, it's if watching babies, and when we look back at maybe the season, then we'll be disappointed. Maybe not disappointed where we were 3-4 weeks ago, mate, but where we ended up ultimately was a kick in the horn moz, mate, yeah?
You can't sugarcoat it anyway. Other than that, mate, we've got ourselves into a great position. The opportunity was there. It was there for the taking, and we done ourselves no favours. We shot ourselves in the foot. We've only got ourselves to blame. I know you can go on about officials and everything else and about football at the moment, but ultimately we didn't perform well enough in these split fixtures to go and to win the league. I think that's the frustration, mate. That's where it lies.
If I'm really honest, mate, 3 of the 8 games, mate, I don't think the officials influenced them at all, mate.
No, but over the course of the season, there's certain games you can pinpoint out.
Oh, I get that, mate. But I'm just saying the last 4 games, mate. I think the Motherwell game at Ibrox was myself. Away at Hearts was myself.
Yep.
And at home to Hibs, well, was myself, man. Maybe there's factors, you know. I mean, we could have been playing against 10 men and 1-0 up easily at their place, yeah. Which I would imagine would have made Wednesday night's game different, but that's it. It's happened and it's done, and we have to deal with it. And obviously, when we go forward, mate, there'll be a lot of questions. Look, our opinions don't really matter, mate. If I'm being honest, mate. It's only the people on the inside of the club. If they think Danny Rowe's the man to take us forward, well, that's the man, and I'll get behind him because he's the Rangers manager and I support Rangers. If they decide to go another way, mate, and they've got somebody lined up, yeah, and if it happens quickly, that's their choice, and we'll have to deal with it and we'll debate it. If it doesn't happen, mate, and Danny Rowe's there for 5 years, I'll be happy also, mate, because that will mean they'll start to be successful. So it's just a case of watch this space, mate. And you're always going to get speculation when you have this run. And the outside looking in, mate, it looks as if there's been a rift, we'll call it that, yeah?
It certainly appears to be the case, mate, particularly since that mini break over in Spain. Everything seems to have capitulated since then. And a lot of people say that it wasn't a good idea to go away. And then when you look back on it in hindsight, a lot of it can be put to that, but there is a lot of factors as well. But as you said, Kavanagh, he's the one that is going to call the shots, and I'm same as yourself, mate. If he's going to come out and back Danny into next season, then as a club and as a support, we should get behind that and cheer the team on. At the end of the day, we're Rangers supporters. We're not an individual supporter of a manager, so we all want a successful Rangers, and the only way we can do that is if we all support and cheer and get right behind them. When it goes wrong, we'll critique and we'll look back and reflect. and when somebody else comes in, we'll give them the backing until something else changes. It's just the way it's been. The movie continues, as the Seahawks.
Oh, it never stops, mate. Never stops. I believe you've got this afternoon's team, mate. Yeah.
Yes, mate. Yeah, a few talking points within the squad itself, mate. So today it's Butland, Giga, Fernandez, Suter, Romans, Barron, Asgard, Diamonde, Moore, Gisama, and Chermite. The substitutes are Kelly, Magoma, Aarons, Scally, Chukwani, McCallion, Scove Olsen, Antman, and Lawson.
Right. Well, he's went me. Obviously, Tav and Stirling are going to play for different reasons, mate. Yeah. Raskin, if he's got a slight muscle injury, and the bounce games, if it did happen, we take it on with what we've been told, mate. We can speculate all we want, but after Hearts, he's not appeared. So let's say, couldn't he make the Celtic game? And he could have been maybe fit for these two games if they were important. Well, I've got to be honest with you, mate. They turned into bounce games, and if he's got a World Cup coming up, if it was me, if I was in this situation, I would be saying, well, I want the rest. If it's a muscle injury, I don't want to risk it. Yeah. If they were competitive games, that becomes a whole different ball game, Robert.
It does.
I'm speculating, mate. I'm speculating.
Oh, you're right to highlight it as a player, and you've got a World Cup to look forward to. Obviously, you want to be fit and you want to be part of that as well. But at the same time, you've got to remember the club comes before country in a lot of people's eyes, and particularly from my eyes as well. We pay the wages, so if you're fit and available for selection, you should still be considered for the squad. Now, again, we can only speculate. We've been told it's been a hamstring injury, so we can only take that for face value until either seen or told otherwise. But you can understand as well a bit of a logical thinking there, that trying to protect himself as much as possible for a World Cup.
If it is a hamstring, mate, it's minimum 6 weeks, mate. You know, to get it back to where you have to be. So if it is, and again, we're speculating, it might be, and they might struggle to make the World Cup. We don't know. Watch this space. He's got a few weeks, I suppose, to sort that out, and we'll see where it takes him. But if it is the case, for the bounce games, I understand. Competitive games different, mate. And I know they're league games, and I know there's people paying money, but I still understand it. I'll get people have a different point of view. We pay his wages, I also understand that. But I understand how sometimes sportsmen think. However, he's out, so we've not got a lot of depth in midfield. Mate, the back four, people might argue that might have been better. I thought Suter was appalling run of form, but maybe his experience would have helped us at times. I don't know. Maybe in hindsight's a wonderful thing. I thought he was due coming out the team, but ultimately maybe I got it wrong and that was a mistake. But he's come back in the day for name. So we'll get Barron, Asgard, and Diamonde in there. I imagine it'll be this 4-2-3-1 again, mate. With Asgard playing in front of Barron and Diamonde, and I don't think Diamonde's a sitter in two, mate. And then Moore on the left, Gassimer on the right with the Petit1, and Big Chermite up front. It's pretty much as strong as we could go with what the personnel we've got, mate.
Personnel-wise, it probably is, mate. But I'm just wondering, is that a back four, or is it a change of shape? Because Giga, Fernandez, Suter, Romans. Do you imagine it's Giga at right back?
Aye, that's what I've got it as, mate.
I don't know if that could be a free.
Well,
if I'm being honest.
Mate. We'll see when they line up. So who would play? So Romans wide left, who's wide right?
I'd imagine, looking at that, either Gisama or Asgard.
And the defensive responsibilities, really?
I know it sounds very bizarre, but just when you look at the back line, I don't see Giga as a right back.
I think the Giga will be at right back, mate. He's played there before, hasn't he?
Can I tell you, mate? I've not seen him at right back, if I'm honest.
For us, mate. I've never said he's played there before, mate. So, well, be interested. You might be right. I might be wrong. It happens, mate.
Sometimes.
So, we'll see where it takes us. There's one boy I would like to score a goal with. I'd like that boy Moore to score a goal with. I really would.
100%, mate. I think We heard his interview he done yesterday on the show last night, and you can see the maturity in him. I think he said himself, there's been times and days this season where he's not been at it, he's not performed well enough, but he's always tried his best. And I think that's one thing that we as a support can say, that Mikey Moore has brought us a lot of effort, a lot of desire. He's got great quality, he's got a great attitude, and whether he's here next season or not, then he goes with the best wishes, because he has been probably the standout of this season for us. And that's a sad indictment in a way to say that about an 18-year-old boy on loan, but it's a credit to him and the maturity that he's shown as well at his club.
Aye. Listen, mate, I like the way he's conducted himself. Sometimes he's frustrated me when they pass the ball when he's overdone it. I'm sure he'll get that out of his game as he becomes more mature, mate. But I think the way he's conducted himself as such a young man, the interviews he done, remember they done the day in the life, and he was out walking his dogs and chatting and that. I doffed my hat to the man, that young man. I think he's conducted himself really well and showed up some of our senior pros, mate.
Aye, AK said that last night in the show, mate, that a lot of...
Oh, no, don't tell me I'm agreeing with him.
Yes, you are, mate. A lot of experienced players in your squad, to those that have been in the game for much longer than Mikey Moore, could really look at the way he's approached it, the attitude towards it, and the way he applies himself on and off the pitch. And I think that's, again, it's testament to him and the character he's got at such a young age, when you're saying that experienced players within our squad could really learn from a younger guy.
Aye. Right, we get phone lines open. Yes?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, mate. Give us the team for the people who are joining late.
Yep, certainly. It's Butland, Giga, Fernandez, Suter, Romans, Barron, Asgard, Diamondi, Moore, Gassama, and Chermiti. Substitutes are Kelly, Magoma, Aarons, Scally, Chukwani, McCallion, Scove Olsen, Antman, and Lawson. And John Suter is the captain today.
I'd like to see some of the young boys to get some minutes, mate. It's always good when you can get them on the pitch, you know, and they hassle with that. As I say, I know it's a league match and I know we like to win it, but ultimately because of where we are, it is a bounce game. We can dress it up any way we want. And how things could have been different, mate, if we'd have drew 1-1 3 of the games, mate. How would have been sitting in the snow, mate, thinking that the nerves, the team might have been different, personnel might have been different, and we would have been feeling different, mate.
Exactly, as you said earlier in the show, mate. So ifs, buts and maybes, we can only deal with what we're left with now, and it's good to have the youngsters on the bench. I know the three guys that are on the bench today played for the under-19s yesterday. They were league champions in the kind of the elite league, they call it. So they all played yesterday. It was Lawson actually got a double yesterday as well, and he's tasted first team action with us as well. He's played in the cup game, so it'd be good to get them on and get some minutes in their legs. But it's not the first time we've looked at the youth near the end of the season, or the last day in particular. Cast your mind back to Tynecastle a couple of years ago. We played a very young squad then as well. So
4 years ago, mate. 4 years ago.
Time flies, eh?
Aye.
I hopefully get on and get some minutes and some experience as well.
That was the week before Seville, mate, yeah? Yeah. Aye. Listen, I like to get their chance. You never know, mate. You never know. One moment, a star can be born, and you get your pre-season, you're in the first team squad, and take your chance, mate. It happens. Doesn't happen that often, but it happens.
It does, and you kind of think of the atmosphere and the environment right now. Obviously, everybody's quite flat and deflated the way the season's ended. Is that the best environment for them to come into at that moment in time for their career and their progression?
Would you care?
I don't. No, I wouldn't care.
No.
I wouldn't care. But sometimes you wonder, as much as you want to see the youth come through, do you want to put them in when it's the really tough moment at such a young age? Suppose that's a good way to learn on that aspect. But other times you go, what does it do to their career? But as you said, at young boys that age on the bench, hoping a first team action, they'll be looking forward to getting any minutes to get on the pitch today. if should it be the case.
It might affect me because I lack a bit of confidence, mate.
Just a bit.
But well, I've looked at it again, mate. I just think it's a 4. I think it's a 4-2-3-1, mate. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting it. That's beginning to concern me about Danny, mate. We're falling into the hole again. When we were winning games, I think sometimes we were mixing it up. That was his stable, but we had this sort of 4-2-2-2. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
When the 2 wide men, the 2 midfielders, and the 2 up top, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we played okay, and then we went to this other system, and well, it's flopped, mate.
We could go to that 4-2-2-2 or 4-4-2, whatever way you want to put it. We've done that quite a bit when we had the options there as strikers. But if you look at the bench, mate, there's not a recognised striker on that bench. We've only got Chimiti. There's no Miovski. Nadiri's obviously out as well, which is a bit strange. He came back for the Hearts game. My own opinion, I think they brought him into that game with a view to using him against Celtic, but they had to use him at Hearts, and I think he's picked something up in the injury. I don't think he fully recovered, and obviously we've not seen him again. So you've only got one striker, so it's hard to play that formation, that 2 up top. So it's personnel and injuries always impact your setup, but it's became quite a traditional, typical 4-2-3-1, which isn't a good fit with a lot of supporters out there.
What about you? What's your take on it?
I'm not a fan of it, mate. I think we've looked better when we played the 2 up top. I think you get, without stating the obvious, you create more chances, you get more bodies in the box when you get 2 up top. You get 2 guys to hit, whereas a lone striker, I don't think Chimiti can work a back 4 as an individual. I don't think Miovski can either, but when there's 2 of them up top, then you cause defence more problems. There's more space for midfielders to move forward into as well. So I think going forward, a formation with 2 strikers up top, but the bottom line is you've got to get the service to them as well. And if that isn't happening, then it doesn't matter if you play 2 or 1, you're not going to get chances or goals.
Yeah. Listen, when we look back and when we dissect, mate, when I look at it, mate, we've scored enough goals to win these matches. We can beat Motherwell 2-1 at Ibrox. We can go to Hearts and win 1-0. We can keep a clean sheet at their place and 1-0. Same against Hibs. It's ultimately in this run-in, mate, we've collapsed defensively. And with 2 sitters, mate, we've got 6 defenders a lot of the time, mate. Minimum. And it's not worked. We've leaked goals, mate. So it's not worked. And I've got to be honest, and it's a criticism I hope that Danny learns from, mate. Because it's just statistically, it has not worked.
No, it hasn't. And again, that causes its own frustration, because the first thing he done when he came in was shoot up the defence and we get clean sheets. We were on an unbeaten run, and right away we went, all right, defence is sorted. Now we just need to create more, and we started to do that, and everything clicked together. We went on that run, and that's what got us into the position. But as you're rightly pointing out, from the pre-split, goals just started to leak left, right, and centre. And I know yourself and GB and Albert said it the other night, the goals have been very, very similar in a lot of games. It doesn't seem there's been any kind of learning from those mistakes.
Yes, I think we're talking about mistakes. He never makes any. We've been joined by Carl. Morning, Carl.
Oh, hey, Ox, I'm Mick Bleddy. Good morning, Ox. Good morning, Robert. God, if it wasn't for mistakes, I wouldn't be doing anything, But I've looked at the team, I've heard it, and see, when I think it, I feel sorry for Danny Rule. He's got a pack of cards. He picks them out. What he's got is what he's got. It's juggle. I mean, you're talking about experienced players. What experienced players have we got in the team?
No money, mate.
Right, you've got Suter.
Yes, and Butland.
Right, he's as you always say, a siege defender, right? Butland. Who's the other one in the squad, apart from Tavernier, that's not in the squad anymore, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's it. That's what he's had to work with, the poor boy. I'm not saying he's done everything perfect, but give him his due, he's had to work with at least one hand tied behind his back. It's pick name. That's what you've got.
Robert?
Hi, morning, Carl. Always good to hear you, mate. You're right. There is a lack of experience within the squad. I know myself as a supporter, millions out there as well have all said we needed a younger squad because we had a lot of guys previously who were coming on a bit, coming of age. But when you've got a younger squad, you've still got to have that balance of the experience side, the so-called leaders to help the young guys. And I think that's what we've lacked of. Danny Rose touched on it. Mikey Moore even said it yesterday. The lack of leaders within the squad, and that comes from experience as well. Now, experience doesn't mean a 30, 31, 32-year-old. That can be a young guy, who, maybe mid-20s, who's played a lot of football, but has been in tough environments, has played at international level. Doesn't always come with age, so you've got to find that balance. And as you say, the players we've got is what we're left with. That's who we had from January onwards. We brought in 3. Were they experienced? Nadiri, 3rd division German player, not really experienced. Chukwani played with Sturm Graz, played in European football, somewhat experienced, but overall the squad still lacks that, mate, and we've got to improve that going forward.
I agree with you, Robert, but how do you get experience? Who's going to come to Rangers? We're saying, get Scottish players. You tell me who. Everybody name managers as well. Get this in, get that in. A manager doesn't win football games. The team wins football games. If you don't have a team, you can juggle anybody in managers. They'll no win without a team. You've got to get a team.
True, mate. If you've got a goalie that doesn't keep the ball in the net, and you've got forwards that don't score more goals than the other teammate, you don't win games. It's as simple as that, Carl.
I agree with you, Ox. I mean, I had a wee question now. I didn't see the game on Wednesday. Maybe a good thing or a bad thing. I had to watch along. My God. They want to get podcasts up there for their own one, for clickbait. They all hate Rangers. I don't want to watch games. I don't want to see this. I mean, see, if I had a season ticket, I would have been up there. My grandson went to Germany. His 5th time this year to watch Rangers in that game. And he wasn't as negative as guys is making their money off your Rangers and podcasts. And it's sad to say it used to be on your show.
I've launched a lot of careers, Carl.
I know. I can believe you, Ox. I mean, I like your show. You're the only one I watch regular. I don't always phone, but last night I listened to it all. The other night I listened to it all. Thursday night was a bit... That's how I don't like that toxic things. I do not like about us. Because, we just get ammo on the other side, by the way.
We're not in it for fame for a fortune, mate. It's a hobby that we enjoy. People give up their time, and we're
I know you say that's what I mean. I wish there was more like yous.
But that's up to them. Look, it's their choice, mate. Their choice. We just give our honest opinion. We get a lot of things wrong. Well, the rest of them good stuff wrong.
You don't, Ox. I must admit you don't, but you always tell us you don't get anything wrong.
That's the only thing he gets wrong, Carl.
I know that. I didn't want to say. I don't want to hurt his feelings before the end of the season.
If you only knew, Carl. If you only knew.
Hey, look, Ox. See, if I balance the books with good and stupid, guess what side is coming out on?
I get it, mate. I get it. And you come, Robert.
No, you're right, Carl. Listen, we've all got the same desire and the same thing we want to see happening, is that's a successful Rangers. Now, how we get there, we'll always split opinions. People will say they don't like Danny Rule. People will say they don't like certain players. Others will say they like Danny and they'll support certain players. The end goal was always the same: a successful, winning Rangers side. How we get that is always going to be up for debate. And as Ox said, I'll have an opinion, you have an opinion, Ox have an opinion. Nobody's going to get it 100% right all the time. It's just the way we see it as ourselves. People will agree with us, people will disagree. That's entirely up to their own perspective, and they've got their own opinion, and rightly so. But as I said, the end goal is always the same: a successful winning Rangers side.
That's what I want. I would love it. I would just wish sometime a wee bit of harmony in the ranks, to just keep ourselves together, show a unity. I mean, that's what we're meant to be. We're meant to be one big family, everyone. I don't agree with that, by the way, but we've got to keep together, because next season's going to be very important for me to watch, if I can get seeing it. I need it to come good, because I know it's coming to the end, you know what I mean, Ox? And
every season we all get closer to the end, Carl.
I know but I know it, you know what I mean? As simple as that, I just want us to be the best. I'm sorry, I have to go. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Well, if some people would understand that how much it means to a lot of people, Robert, and that's when the disappointment kicks in, yeah.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. This isn't just a football club. This is a way of life for a lot of supporters. And some things, I said it before in a previous show, sometimes Rangers in football as a whole, but obviously, of course, Rangers mainly, is a release for a lot of people to go and enjoy something. Have something.
It's not felt like that the last 3 weeks.
No, I know. And that's what the thing. Sometimes it's they've only got Rangers in their lives. And when it's not going well, that's where the frustration and the struggles show as well. And you want to go back to the days where it was titles and trophies and packed Ibrox and all the joys that you've seen over the years. We want to get back to that because we've been starved of it for far too long. The trophies we've got in the last 15 years hasn't been enough for our support, and rightly so. We deserve better. Mikey Moore ended his interview yesterday saying he's going to miss the fans the most, and his last words were, they deserve so much more, and he's 100% correct.
Aye. The fans do, mate. Aye, they've shown their loyalty, mate. Shown their loyalty. And sometimes their frustrations as well, And look, I'm sure I talk about it after the. Listen, we've got the manager, Danny Rowe, and we'll maybe get an update. I'm not surprised that the personnel is picked, but we'll see what he says. And by the way, just before we hear the manager, just quickly, Sterling and my teammate, looks potentially we could still have two. Is there going to be two surfaces next season? That's another 4 away games he potentially not play. It's a big chunk of the season, isn't it? Before anything else happens.
I think it's Falkirk can have the artificial pitch for this season coming. And then
Commander got to change theirs. If the Commander got to change theirs.
They've got to change theirs in the summer,
mate.
Right,
so it's only 2 games he would miss through the season, depending how the split for him, Jim.
Yes.
All right, okay. So potentially, if it went perfect, it could be 1 game he could miss.
Yep. In an ideal world.
All right, okay. All right, just concerned. I mean, it must be a strange condition he's got. All right, get yourself a mute and we'll hear from the gaffer.
Why don't you give us a call?
Danny, it's the final game of the Scottish Premiership season. What do you want to see from your players today?
Very simple, a win. Yeah, good effort, some good goals, good organisation. And this is what I want to see today.
On your team, Jedi Gassama comes in, John Suter comes in. Talk us through those changes.
Yeah, John is now available. I think this is great. He should get some minutes. I think he trained well. All is good. I think he can help us for the experience as well. I think this is what I want to see. But I want to highlight more also our 3 academy players. I think they deserve it. Congratulations also for the academy to win the title. I think this is a great news. And yeah, I think all 3 of them, they trained with us, and yeah, I make them also my decision to give them opportunity. Maybe one of them can also come on today. Let's see, because they have still 90 minutes in the legs. But I think this is also a great signal. But the first thing is we want to win this game, and I put a strong 11 on the pitch. But I think we can win with this team.
Yeah, obviously the last time here at Falkirk they made a fast start here, got the lead. How important will the start be from your team obviously today to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I hope that we are adapt very quick from the first minute and on the pitch. I think it was especially 4 weeks ago the problem that we struggled a little bit with the ball and all these things. This I want to see. I want to see that we learn learn from our experience from 4 weeks ago, and that we are hungry today for this win, because I think this is very, very important how we finish this split.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, there wasn't a lot in that, really. We only really got why Suter was playing. The idea of the formation or anything. Well, I don't suppose we would get that away, but anyway. But I hope the young boys do get minutes, mate. You never know when you get another chance, mate. I hope they do. And I wish them all the best. And congratulations to the under-17s and under-19s, mate. Yeah.
Yep, aye. It's always good to see the academy doing well, and we need to start producing them through into the first team, Ox. Again, we've spoke many shows about bringing young Scottish players through, young Scottish players to the club. But when you've got an academy there, there's guys that are learning, or should be learning the standards. And I know we touched on it last night. The standards have certainly dropped, in my opinion, at Rangers. But the young guys, they're the future. And if there's a gem in there, then they've got to get the minutes to get experience. You never know, as you say, you might unearth one and they become a fan favourite, a revelation, and maybe you don't need to go and splash so many millions on a player when you've got one on your doorstep.
See, for me, mate, just quickly on that, see if you get 2 in your first team who have come through that, or 3 in your squad, maybe 4 in your squad. That's success, mate, for that. And it involves if one of them moves on or falls away and you transfer them and somebody else comes in, or one's there for 5 or 6 years and he's part of it. That's success. Man United, everybody talks about the class of 92. Football was different then, and that was unusual. Always has been. It does happen, but very unusual. But if you can get a conveyor belt where you're refreshing and there's maybe 4 involved with the squad and 2 that I mean are first teamers, that means the academy's been successful. And then there's the other side there, if people are just on the fringe and don't quite make it, and you're moving them on for a small fee or a decent fee, depending on the circumstances, mate. That means that all the financials come into play, and that means it's successful. No, I would love 11 boys to come through the ranks, but I'm being realistic. That for me would be success. But first and foremost, mate, when they're on the team, they've got to be hopefully good enough and help drive us on, mate. Yeah.
100%, I agree. I'm not saying we need to have a whole squad full of academy players that push through. As you said, yeah, a handful or a few bodies coming through year on, year out that can add to the squad and, as you say, go on to other clubs, bring in transfer revenue. It works successfully, but the academy's not been used well enough, in my opinion. Now, whether that's down to managers not willing to give youth a chance, or whether it's down to the quality, because it's a big step up from the academy to first team. There's a massive gap, and the fact we don't have that reserve league, it creates that back gap even bigger. So you've got to try and send them out on loan to teams to get experience. But again, it always comes back to, do managers, not just Danny Rowe, but managers in the past, have they gave the youth a chance on their own accord, or is it simply down to quality? It's 2 different ends of the spectrum, but you've got to find the balance, because if you've got an academy, you've got to be showing that you're using it well enough to get guys up into the first team.
Yeah, and if we take Finlay Curtis, mate, who's been out on loan and been successful, I hope it's a springboard for his Rangers career, mate. I think he gets very little minutes, mate. And then when he does start getting minutes, it's in lost causes, yeah? Yeah, and he might do a moment of magic and then start the next game, but I think up until the Falkirk game, he gets very little minutes, mate. And then that takes you for the end of January to sort of April time, mate. And then, yeah, we could have used him because of what happened, and particularly on the right-hand side of the park's been appalling. But I don't think he starts against Motherwell. And then he might get thrown on with the last 10 minutes. Don't think he starts at Tynecastle, bizarrely. Yeah, but he might start next season because of his development.
Aye, and I know, again, a lot of people will say we should have kept him. It's easy to say that now because we've seen what's happened on that right-hand side with Scott Volson, Gassama, and any other player that we went through the other night who's played that position. It's easy to say that now, but he will come back a better player. He's got minutes, first team action. He's playing in the same league, so he knows that teams are going to be like He's got goals. He's been called up to Scotland. He might even be going to the World Cup, Hawks. That's announced on Tuesday. That's
He
probably
would
another
have.
reason that John Streeter's in.
He wouldn't have been going to the World Cup if he'd have been sitting on the bench, mate.
No, exactly. 100% agree. So his career has progressed from January till now with that loan move. And if he comes back, which I think he will, a better player, and he can be a starter for us, then you go, that loan deal worked out well. Might not worked out well for us having Scove Wilson because he's flopped, but for a player, for us, our own player, for future, it bodes well.
All right. Right, we've got the team today. De Giga, Fernandez, Suter, Romans back four. Big and powerful, mate. Got experience in there with Suter, so I would think that hopefully improves the setup. Then we'll get Barron and Diamondi, mate. Barron's, the way he works, is a credit to himself. His quality of football player, mate. His creativity in midfield, I think, is lacking. And then that's how we kind of get to the next level. Attitude, 10 out of 10. Work rate, 10 out of 10. Team player, 10 out of 10. Creativity, 5.5 out of 10, mate. You know, if that, mate. You know, because I can't remember Connor making a chance for us, mate. I can't remember. I might be wrong. Somebody might prove me wrong. And I don't think he scored a goal for us, mate. I know he's had a couple of decent shots.
Mhm.
I mean, decent saves in that, maybe. And when I say a couple, what's really a couple, mate? So there's where Connor has to build into his game. You know, I think you play in midfield, mate. You've got to chip in with minimum 4, and if you get more than 6, you'll be the real. You know, that becomes decent numbers, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're an all-round player then. If you can do all that, you can do the defensive duties and the hard work, as you say, 10 out of 10 every game for effort. He will close down a lot of players. He'll cover a lot of grass. Going forward, he's not got that in his game. If he was to add that, then he would be the all-round kind of midfielder, kind of box to box. But you're right to mention he's not got a goal. He's only got 2 assists, and they both came at Ibrox against Aberdeen, both from corners. And I think, judging by the team sheet, he'll be on the corners today as well. Romans for end swingers, so he can get assists through that way. But technically, on the ball going forward, he needs that extra wee bit in his game just to, as you say, take him up a level. But it's probably, for me, he's probably not that player that is the creative spark, if I'm being honest. If you're looking at that lineup, you're going Connor Barron, is he the creative player? No, he's not. He's the guy that is robust in midfield. He'll get stuck in. He'll not shy away from things. It's the others around him that need to contribute as well. But I get what you mean. As a midfielder, if you've got both in your locker, then you're a good midfielder, good bowler.
By the way, so you look at the 3. There's plenty of the, you know, Barron, Asgard, Diamondi, right? If you moulded them into one, if you were a height Asgard with his physique, with Barron's attitude and work rate, Diamondi's trickery on the ball, Asgard technique at free kicks. What a player you'd have on your arms, mate. But I don't think any of the 3 of them can heed it, mate, playing in midfield. It's mental.
Oh, you're right. I don't think any of them can, to be honest with you. Barron's obviously at the disadvantage with his height, but you look at Diamondi and Asgard, they're 2 tall guys that should be able to at least challenge in the air, and it's very minimal.
Diamondi doesn't even jump for it, mate.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even at times that they're not jumping up, or they're mistiming the headers, or they're getting caught under the ball. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. You would expect somebody tall to be quite commanding. I mean, you look at Fernandez; he's quite strong in the air because his height as well. Giga can be said the same. So midfield, you would expect them with that height and that kind of. Well, they've not got the physicality like Chukwani, for example, but they've still got the aerial threat in the air, but they don't seem to show it.
Yeah, and up front, obviously, I'm saying that's my first choice wingers, but for a lot of the games, that's been my 3, mate. You know, and look, we failed at the back end. Mikey Moore's not been great. He's had periods when he's not been great, and he's had other periods when he's been good. Mikey Moore showed a desire at times, even though he's not created a lot. But he's also not the people run about him, mate. You know, and we didn't. All of a sudden, we also stopped getting people in the box. You know, so it became harder for the wide men to pick out people. If you look back to the tempo and the bodies within the box when we played first chance at Highbrooks against that mob, and then the way we played against Hearts or the Peaks, mate. It's like two different teams. It's frighteningly.
But it isn't. I don't know about yourself, Fox, but I'm always a fan of getting the ball out wide quickly, and then as soon as the winger gets it, put it in nice and early. If you need to take a man on, take him on, get a half yard and whip the ball into the box. But you can only put it into the box when you've got the bodies in there. You put the ball in and there's nobody there, you get criticised and moaned at for losing possession effectively. And before you know it, the opposition's on a counter attack when it all comes back to you putting in a ball for nobody there. But it's about getting bodies in the box. That's why I like two up front, because even if one's coming deep or one's kind of drifting wide, there still should be a focal point in that box between the goalkeeper and the penalty spot, just in the 6-yard line, sniffing for any danger, waiting for a loose ball or getting in front of the man to create chances. But Chimiti isn't that kind of striker that's going to be in the box. You'll see him today, he'll drift left, he'll drift right. And before you know it, you can't put the ball in, so that's why you have to work back to try and get different angles, different positions, because there's simply nobody in the box.
Aye, as a wide player, mate, depending how you get the ball, you might want to put it in early and you don't even look to see if there's anybody there. And if there's nobody there and it's the right thing you do, but nobody's made a run, that's not your fault. But if you look up and there's nobody there and you've got time, mate, well, you've got to make the right decision. That's what football is about. It's about decision making, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When you hold it or you pass it or you go for a runner or you put the cross in. And that's what we've let ourselves do. The defending been poor and at times attacking decisions have been poor. But as I said, mate, ultimately, you can dress up any way you want. These last 4 games, mate, we've scored enough goals to win the games. We could have won all the games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not all right. It'd have been nervy and there'd been a couple of 3-1 nothing. Steve Bridgman's in there. He still had enough. That could win you the games if you keep clean sheets. But the defences fell apart, mate. Right, quickly before we wind up, mate, how do you see it going and what's your prediction, mate? Put you on the spot.
Oh, it's always tough to call the last game of the season, especially when you're playing for his points, mate, and a bit of pride. I don't think we're going to get a 90-minute performance. I can probably guarantee that.
Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it?
I think there'll be spells where Falkirk will have us under the cosh. If I'm being honest, I think their tails will be up a wee bit. They'll see us as weakened and think they've got a chance to get something from the game. But I will never go against Rangers, mate. So I'll go for a 2-1 Rangers victory.
All right, mate. Listen, I think it's important for the manager we win, mate, so we can just park it and move on, mate. If we don't get a result today, I think I'm not saying the pressure grows massively, but the screw gets turned a wee notch. So that would take more people into the doubt in a Danny Rowe, you know, if just looking statistically, yeah.
Yep,
you know,
100%.
but hopefully we can keep a clean sheet today and win both halves 1-0, so a 2-0 victory to Rangers. Yeah, all right.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, that's a hopeful prediction, mate. Right, listen, mate, thanks for joining us. Yep.
Aye, always good to be on, mate. Always good, and the last one of a long season.
You don't need to tell me that, bro. You don't need to tell me that. Listen, thanks to Cal for joining us, of course, Robert for doing the show, and the 2 stalwarts in the background, Fox and Old School Blue. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, dissecting a Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Blue.